Hey, welcome back to Emily A to Z. My name is Emily, and today is my November TBR. Let's jump right in, starting off strong with Magical Stitches, of course. Magical Stitches is the group that I run over on Facebook. The link is down in the description. As always, you are more than welcome to join. It is a books and cross-stitch group that I run. Every year we have a theme, and this year's theme is a series of unfortunate events where we read the book of the month. I create about 15 prompts, give or take a couple, that correspond to things that happen in the book that you will then find a cross-stitch project that matches and cross-stitch on. I have it all laid out over there. We also do a reading challenge every month, so we have our book of the month, but then we also have 3 additional reading tasks that could be anything from a cover challenge to a title challenge to a whatever challenge, just to get you reading more. So you could always come for the books and stay for the crafts, or vice versa. Maybe you'll learn something new. Next year's theme has been announced for 2026, so if you are interested, that will be linked up in here if you would like to know more about what's happening next year in Magical Stitches. But let's finish out the year. For the month of November, the book is The Grim Grotto. This is book number 11. We are following the Baudelaires as they end up further out to sea in the stricken stream. So this is the required reading of the month. All of the cross-stitch props will be based around this. In addition to that, part of our tasks, first up is to have a word in the title. This is our title challenge. For November, it is to have a verb in the title. A verb is an action word. It is something that you do. It is something that you perform. I have gone with Whispering Pines by Heidi Lang and Katie Bartkowski. There's a T in there. Strange is normal in a town like this. This I actually bought from a library book sale. This used to belong to the library, and then they withdrew it from the collection, and so then you can buy it for super cheap, and I got this for Caden. This is a juvenile middle grade. Ray's father vanished without a trace, and Ray knows what happened to him, but no one believes her when she says that her father didn't run off, that he was actually taken. Now, a year of therapy later, Ray's mother decides they need a fresh start, so they move to a new town in the hope that life can return to normal. The problem is, there is nothing normal about the town of Whispering Pines. No one knows this better than Caden. He's lived in Whispering Pines his entire life, and he's seen more than his fair share of weird, starting with his own family, as the town is the perfect home base for his mother's ghost hunting business. When several kids go missing and then show up like zombies with their eyes removed, many locals brush it off. But Caden has a dark secret, one that may explain why someone is stealing eyes. And Ray, who knows how it feels to not be believed, may be just the person Caden needs to help him put things right. Why are we taking eyes? Very cool. And on the back it does say, play it safe and leave the woods alone. Curfew begins at sunset. No students out after dark. Parents or recognized guardians must pick up students from school following any after-school activities. Garlic is to be eaten, not worn. Absolutely no chalk allowed. The second field is closed due to a sudden sinkhole appearance. All outdoor activities will now be scheduled on the first field only. No wearing red. This includes shirts, pants, hats, and lipstick. No cell phone use within school grounds. Interesting. And it does look like we switch between perspectives. We'll have a chapter in Ray's perspective, and then we have a chapter with Caden. So, and you whisper. That is an action that you do. Whispering. So whispering is my verb. Where did my thing go? Oh no, oh no. Next is a bit of a time challenge, so you need to read a book that you can physically read or listen to within a 24-hour period. Think of this as an ideal, this is a one-sitting book, you finish it in the course of a day, you have full 24 hours to read the book, but the idea is a one-sitting book. Novellas work perfect for this, short stories work perfect for this, things like that. Graphic novels, manga, which is what I am going with. I have Blood on the Tracks, Volume 4 and Volume 5 here that I am dying to read. I can read one of these in one setting. I am, of course, on Volume 4, and we are following a young man who has a bit of a weird relationship with his mother, and he witnesses her do something horrible, and As the story is progressing, we are seeing his mother like unraveling and how that affects their relationship and how their relationship is devolving and becoming something twisted and messed up. I am very excited to get back into this. The other one is to read a book that has an animal on the cover. Yes, this was also a buzzword prompt early in the year. I made a bingo board earlier. This was already on the bingo board, so it's fine if there's some overlap. I could use the Raven Boys, whatever, but I'm not because I bought it and I want to use it. Oh, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I feel like this is a very Stephen Graham Jones heavy year for me, and you know what? I'm not mad about it. I have wanted to read this for so long, and I've just been trying to find an excuse to read it. So here we are. There is a deer on the cover, so this counts. A tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature, Stephen Graham Jones. Seamlessly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. I'm very excited for this. I bought this while we were on vacation. And that wraps up Magical Stitches. So then that leads me into all of my other book clubs and what is going on there. Starting off strong with our family book club. It is in fact my husband's aunt's turn to pick, and I believe I said that she usually does like lit fic kind of thing, and guess what she picked? Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have never read anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I own Daisy Jones and the Six. It's been on my TBR. I still have not read it, but we are doing Atmosphere. This is her newest release. This is June of 2026. Interesting. What is this about? I honestly have no idea. An epic new novel set against the backdrop of the 1980s space shuttle program about the extraordinary lengths we go to live and love beyond our limits. Joan Goodwin has been obsessed with the stars for as long as she can remember. She is content with her life as a professor of physics and astronomy and as aunt to her precocious niece, Frances, until she comes across an advertisement seeking the first women scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. Suddenly, Joan burns to be one of the few people to go to space. Selected from a pool of thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980, Joan begins training at Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates, Top Gun pilot Hank Redmond and scientist John Griffin, easygoing even when the stakes are high, mission specialist Lydia Danes, who has worked too hard to play nice, warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald navigating her own secrets, and Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious aeronautical engineer who can fix any engine and fly any plane. As they become unlikely friends and prepare for their first flights, Joan finds a love she never imagined. In this new light, Joan begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Then in December of 1984, on mission STS-LR9, it all changes in an instant. Oh, someone's gonna die, aren't they? I do like the beautiful pages. This would also work for a Her Kid prompt that has to do with having like become the avatar that has the elements on the cover. This definitely would have like air. Her hair is being blown by something. There are clouds. You can see it reflected. Her Kid is the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, and it is back for round 2. It is hosted by QWERTY, or Q. I have just delved into it. I'm not necessarily actively participating. I'm not actively participating. I've just found it, and so now I'm like, oh, you could read this. So anyone who is doing Her Kid, hey, look, I see you. Maybe I'll join it and we'll see. I don't know. Next is, of course, book clubs that are hosted by my local library. We have the Read with Pride, which is a book club that focuses on highlighting and reading works by queer authors or stories that feature queer characters. And this month's book is Patricia Wants to Cuddle by Samantha Allen. I have heard of this, but I have not read it. On this season of The Catch, contestants must compete for love and their lives. When the final four women in competition for an aloof, somewhat sleazy bachelor's heart arrive on a mysterious island in the Pacific Northwest, they prepare themselves for another week of extreme sleep deprivation, invasive interviews, and of course, the salacious drama eager viewers nationwide tune in to devour. Each woman came on the catch for her own reasons. Brand sponsorships, followers, and yes, even love, and they've all got their eyes steadfastly trained on their respective prizes. Enter Patricia, a temperamental and woefully misunderstood local living alone in the dark, verdant woods and desperate for connection. Through twists as unexpected as they are widely entertaining, the self-absorbed cast and jaded crew each make her acquaintance atop the island's tallest and most desolate peak, finding themselves at the center of an action-packed thriller that is far from scripted, and only a few will make the final cut. A whirlwind romp careening toward a last girl standing conclusion and a scathing indictment of contemporary American media culture, Patricia Wants to Cuddle is also a love story between star-crossed lesbians who rise above their intolerant town, a deeply ambivalent woman and her budding self-actualization in a group of misfit islanders forging community against all odds. Is Patricia Bigfoot? And it does also look like this is multiple POV. Oh, and we have some multimedia-esque things. That is like blog post comments. I am very intrigued by this. The next book club that is hosted by my library is their online reading challenge, and each month they have picked a different genre to read throughout the year. For the month of November, it is actually detective or crime fiction. The book that they have chosen is The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Lori R. King, which I own, and I actually read in January of this year, so I will not be participating. I'm not going to sub in another book for this one. I've already read it. I'm counting it. I also need to just be gentle with myself, so I'm not going to add on an additional book at this time. The next book club are the two, or challenges are Kayla's from Books and Lalas. It is her Buzzword-a-thon and her Buzzword Cover Challenge. For the Buzzword-a-thon for November, the word is never. So in this case, we are looking for specific words or themes in the title of the novels. Specifically, this month is the word never. I have chosen What Never Happened by Rachel Housel Hall. This is an ebook that I own from Prime when I used to do that. And this is Colette Coco Weber has relocated to her Catalina Island home, where 20 years before she was the sole survivor of a deadly home invasion. All Coco wants is to see her Aunt Gwen get as far away from her ex as possible and get back to her craft, writing obituaries. Thankfully, her college best friend, Maddie, owns the local paper and has a job sure to keep Coco busy, considering the number of elderly folks who are dying on the island. But as Coco learns more about these deaths, she quickly realizes that the circumstances surrounding them are remarkably similar and not natural. Then Coco receives a sinister threat in the mail, her own obituary. As Coco begins to draw connections between a serial killer's crimes and her own family tragedy, she fears that the secrets on Catalina Island might be too deep to survive, because whoever is watching her is hell-bent on finally putting her past to rest. Hey, this is also a crime fiction, so it works, but that's my choice. For the Buzzword Cover Challenge, the month of November is to feature food and drink on the cover, and I have chosen Goblin Mode, How to Get Cozy, Embrace Imperfection, and Thrive in the Muck by Michaela Coyle. I own this. I bought this a year or so ago, and I have been wanting to read this ever since. Embrace your inner goblin. Learn to decorate, dress, craft, forge, and live according to the goblin principles of community, diversity, nonconformity, and joyful mess. Listen, my husband regularly refers to me as a goblin or a gremlin, and that's totally fine. I embrace that. I am, in fact, a goblin. So when I found this on the shelves, I was like, yeah. And I bought it and brought it home and showed him, and he's like, okay, that's your book. So I am excited to finally read this. Do you ever feel strange, gross, chaotic, underappreciated, or like you don't quite fit in? Great news, you might be a goblin. That means your imperfections and idiosyncrasies are the most awesome things about you, and you can build a more harmonious life by accepting and honoring them, taking inspiration from the frogs, fungi, moss, rocks, and dirt that goblins love. Goblin Mode includes life advice for celebrating physical and mental diversity, rejecting prejudice, and generally hanging on to a little joy. Can a mushroom give you fashion tips? Can a snail teach you to be a happier person? You bet they can. And in this book, you'll also learn to create a moss garden for your lair, grow and use medicinal plants, forage for berries even in the city, mend your cozy sweaters, display your cool rock collection, and more. I have rocks. Featuring whimsical illustrations by Marian Churchland, Goblin Mode will help you rethink your relationship with yourself, your home, your community, and the earth. And I really do love that Michaela Coyle is a lesbian writer from Anchorage, Alaska. They're the engagement editor for Literary Hub, and they hold an MFA in fiction from the New School. In their free time, they read fantasy novels and make a lot of jam. I am excited to read this. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be super cute. We've got like a little self-help book for November. Perfect. This is what I need. Last pick of the 2025 Literally Dead Book Club, hosted by Books and Lala. She only runs the book club from February to November of the year. So this is the final book of the year, and this is Futility by Nuzo Ono. Murder, Revenge, Soup. So this is the book. It is very small. It is smaller than I was expecting. Crackling with wit, this is a monstrous, gleeful, bitingly funny tale of murder, body swapping, and bloody vengeance from the recipient of the Bram Stoker Award for Lifetime Achievement and Queen of African Horror. Betrayed by the men in their lives, two women seethe with rage and bitterness. When a trickster spirit offers them the gift of revenge, they cannot resist. Chia runs one of the best restaurants in Abuja, Nigeria, and is renowned among the male clientele for her captivating beauty and delicious hot pepper soup. But her hot pepper soup has a secret ingredient, and her beauty is not what it seems. Claire is a 50-year-old British woman living in Abuja with her young Nigerian boyfriend and his beautiful cousin, Sade. Consumed by jealousy and resentment, Claire's carefully organized life spirals into chaos after a night out at Chia's infamous restaurant. I am so excited to get into this. I think it'll be so cool. And this came out this year, right? In October of this year? Yes, October 2025. Oh, I love that. This book is dedicated to me. That's right. Own it. There are eyeballs. Okay, put that aside. The last book club that I am partaking in is, of course, the Morbidly Curious Book Club, where each month they pick a different non-fiction book that delves into the creepier, morbid, uncomfy side of life, things that maybe we don't necessarily talk about or it's frowned upon. And this month it is 9 Pints, A Journey Through the Money, Medicine, and Mysteries of Blood by Rose George. An eye-opening exploration of the past, present, and future of blood, the essential substance on which our lives and economies depend. Blood carries life, yet the sight of it makes people faint. It is ubiquitous, yet taboo, a waste product, and a commodity costlier than oil. It can save lives and transmit deadly infections. Each one of us has roughly 9 pints of it, yet many don't even know their own blood type. And for all the universality of blood, the few tablespoons of it discharged by some 300 million women every day are still regarded as unmentionable. Across millennia, across continents and cultures, menstruation is perhaps the single most demonized biological fact. Rose George, author of The Big Necessity and 90% of Everything, is renowned for her intrepid writing on topics that are invisible but vitally important. In 9 Pints, she takes us from the ancient practices of bloodletting to the breakthrough of the liquid biopsy, which promises to diagnose cancer and many other diseases with a simple blood test. She introduces us to Janet Vaughan, who set up the world's first system of mass blood donation during the London Blitz, and Aruna Chalam Muruganathan, the minstrel man, developing low-cost sanitary pads for poor countries. She probes the multi-billion-dollar business of plasma transfusions, in which paying donors, often impoverished immigrants, for their blood is still legal, and the United States is known as the OPEC of plasma, OPEC. And she looks to the future as researchers plan to bring synthetic blood out of the realm of science fiction and to a hospital near you. You should know your blood type. I am O negative, which means that I am the universal donor. I can give anyone my blood. You are welcome. I do try to donate blood regularly because I do know how important it is. Also, though, being O negative means I can only have O negative blood. So it is important to know your blood type if you can. My husband does not know his blood type. It's fine. But it's important. And that is that. That wraps up my November TBR. I am excited to jump into a large number of these, but for now, I gotta go shower and get ready for work. So thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging around and I am very grateful. I am grateful to be here. I am grateful for my community that I have made. I am grateful to wrap up the end of this year strong. Thank you. Be easy with your hearts.